off by talking about the what's of our experience. So my first service trip was to Oklahoma, Mississippi, which is a small town in the south, where we learned a lot about racism issues as well as problems in the education system and how that affects the students. And so we tutored an after-school program. We had some educational talks and speakers come in, and it was really kind of, for me, that first experience of seeing in the United States things that I didn't realize that were going on, and really kind of opened my eyes and got me started to think about that, and really got me interested in becoming more involved in different service opportunities.
All right, and then last spring I coordinated a service trip to El Paso, Texas. So this was a great experience for my group and myself to see the people affected by different immigration laws and policies and border policies, and for us to just be exposed and be right there and talk with people that were experts and had been working on border and immigration issues for years, and also to talk with the people that were very much affected by these policies. And then you go into the questions phase, and that's when you're asking, so what? Why was my experience important? What kinds of systems were in place that affect the people that I just worked with? So a really important part of service trips is that we always have a reflection each night. Normally these reflections go for at least an hour, and they're a chance for students to take a second or take a longer period of time, reflect on what they experienced that day, how it talk from their own experience, their own faith background, their own values, and kind of examine what they were feeling that day, and ask them deeper questions about what they saw, maybe about the social structures.
So in asking about those deeper questions, we kind of get into social analysis, which is a type of reflection that's often done towards the end of the week. And the basic idea of social analysis is to break down the different structural systems that may feed into a certain issue that we're examining. So for instance, if you looked at homelessness, you could ask about what economic systems or what political systems or what social systems kind of cause that, and begin to break down the stereotype of oh, people who are homeless just don't want to get a job and they're lazy, and really understanding that that's not the case. It's really the bigger structural system around that causes that.
And then finally you move into the now what phase, and this is when you're asking what you can do to change, either the way that you personally perceive things, breaking down stereotypes, or ways that you want to see change in the way that different social structures are in place. Last year, the CCSJ began an advocacy team, which is a group of students that work with Ken, and these students most of them have had some kind of advocacy experience, or they're very interested in getting more experience, and we do all kinds of things. Whenever we send out weekly advocacy alerts, so these are emails that we send to students and community members with different action alerts or actions that people can take around our 4 priorities. Our priorities are immigration, economic justice, environmental justice, and nonviolence. We also have, a lot of times, have petitions or ask students to call their members of Congress. We are right now preparing for the Ignatian Family Teach-In and setting up a bunch of legislative visits to meet with members of Congress in Washington, D.C. around immigration, environmental justice, and closing the School of the Americas, or WENSEC.
And then the final way we've kind of integrated these experiences and moved into further leadership positions is that Anna and I are both on the service trip core team. The service trip program is run through the CCSJ and through support with them, and also through a 9-student core team. And so we are all seniors who kind of help set up the program and do all the logistical stuff for it, and kind of do all the behind the scenes making it run. And so we kind of took on this leadership position because if you go back to the very beginning of the presentation, the first thing that really got us interested in doing this work of social justice was having those first experiences that came through service trips. And so we really want to be able to continue that praxis spiral and be able to engage new students in new experiences. And this is one way